And I would like to start this practice with an om. So I've turned up our volume, so we're just oming in our own space. And if there's still people sleeping in your house, then you can just om quietly. Or if everybody's awake or you feel like waking everybody up with an om, you can om quite loud. But let's take 3 deep breaths into the nose, out through the mouth, just releasing and letting go of our night. And then we'll do one nice om just to clear our throats and our ears for our practice. So nice deep inhalation. And just take a moment to pause with the eyes closed. Be seated nice and tall. And just watch your breath come in and watch your breath go out. And just aware of how you are arriving on your mat this morning. I wanted to dedicate this practice to ourselves. We're reclaiming the practices we may have lost, whether it's over the years, or over the weeks, or over the moments. And sometimes we can get caught up in overwhelming pressures of trying to adjust really quickly to the way things are changing. And we need to keep coming back to our practice, centering, grounding, coming into the heart of it all. You can have an awareness of physically how you're arriving this morning. If you have any injuries or mischievous places in your body, just aware of how you will move with extra compassion. Aware of how you're arriving emotionally this morning. If you have been overwhelmed lately or learning, high learning curves, new technology, just extra compassion. And the kind of mindset you're in this morning, whether you've woken up with your mind on fire, or whether you're groggy, and compassion. Take a moment and bring your hands into your heart and Jali Mudra and Anahata Chakra and lift up your heart. Wide open heart, wide open mind. Take a moment and just tuck your chin. And just silently dedicate this practice to yourself. Reclaiming that connection with your heart. And then gently lift your head. Allow your palms to come down. And keep the eyes closed if you wish, or you can open them up, but we will move into some spinal rotations. So just moving around a circle. Aware of how the low back and the hips are feeling this morning. Yeah, and you can go the opposite direction. And then just gently coming back to center. You can remove any blankets you had on top of you, or perhaps any blanket or support underneath your sit bones. And we're going to come down to supine, so on your back, with the knees bent and the feet on the floor. And you can take a moment and pause down here So about a 90-degree angle behind your knees, so your heels almost come back and touch your middle longest finger. And if that feels like it's too much pressure, then just gently move those feet away a little bit. Close your eyes for a moment here and just have an awareness of your spine and how it feels against the floor. So whether you're on a hard floor or a carpeted floor, just aware of how the spine feels in any natural arches where it doesn't touch the floor. And then I'd like you to press down the upper arms and puff up the chest, and you might even feel the bottom tip of the shoulder blades come a little closer together. And then exhale, release. Inhale, press down the upper arms, feel the chest puff up, shoulder blades move a little closer together. And exhale, release. And then inhale, press down the upper arms, puff up the chest, press into your feet, and lift up the hips. And so it's take your Bandhasana, and exhale, roll the spine back. All right, listen to this next one. Inhale, press down the upper arms, puff up the chest, press to your feet, lift up the hips, and lift up the arms. Take the arms all the way back behind your head. And then exhale, nice and slowly, lower the spine and the arms all the way down to the ground. So we're doing our rolling bridges. Inhaling, lifting the hips, lifting the arms, taking them all the way back behind your head. And exhale, rolling all the way back down. So we're warming up the vertebrae and getting the fluid moving in our disc right away. And I mentioned before that usually the back body is a little bit tight in the morning, especially depending on how you slept. I was mentioning to Sanaz that my puppy wanted to hang out under the full moon last night, so I was up a lot with her, but the full moon is so beautiful. We're going to do 2 more rolling back bends, moving with your breath, warming up the spine and the shoulders, just engaging the abdominals a little bit. And after those last 2, you can allow the arms and the spine to come all the way down to the ground. Pause for a moment, aware of how your body liked or did not like the sensations, and allow the arms to slide wide open, palms face up. Take the feet as wide as your mat, and please touch the edges, and exhale, take the knees over to the right, and your gaze point over to the left. Inhale up to center. And exhale right on over to the other side. And keep going with your breath side to side as you continue to wake up through the inner and outer hips, releasing the compression through the low back of the spine. And if you gently turn your head in the opposite direction of the knees, then you'll get just a little bit deeper elongation through your spine. And we're going to go 2 more times to each side, waking up our feet that will be standing in balancing line. And then gently, after those 2 more times, and there's no rush, but after those 2 more times to each side, you can bring your feet back to center. And that will be hip bone distance apart. And then with the feet back at center, you can inhale, take your arms up towards the sky. Excuse me, palms face each other, outer shoulder distance apart. And allow the shoulders to sink down into their sockets. So the hips are in a really healthy place in their sockets, and the shoulders are in a really healthy place in their sockets. So a snapshot of how that feels. And then on the next exhalation, let's allow the legs to extend out in front of you and the arms to go back behind you. And just point your toes and take a nice deep inhalation, full body stretch. And exhale, release, let it go. Okay, keeping the arms back behind your head and the legs out in front of you. Dorsiflex, activate your feet. So big toes up towards the ceiling. On the next inhalation, bring the right leg and the left arm up to greet each other at center. And exhale then. Inhale, opposites in. Right arm, left leg. Exhale. And just keep moving with your breath as we warm up and continue to warm up the hips and the shoulders and the back body. It's really good to start working with alternate sides of the body, getting that crisscross sensation in and the brain working with different parts for coordination. Still moving with your breath. And we'll do one more to each side from wherever you want. And after your one more to each side, just stay in your full body stretch, waking up, feeling every tissue in the body waking. Yep. And then gently hug the knees into your chest. Give a little squeeze. And then rock and roll up to seat. Come to your Sukhasana, our easy seated pose. And before we start to move into our sun salutation, we'll just tingle every cell in the body, our tissue in the body a little bit more with Kapalabhati. So that's our shining skull breath. And we'll do 3 rounds of 33. And I'll count us in the first 5, and then I'll count us out the last 3. Okay, so you can sit up nice and tall. Kapalabhati is that natural inhalation and that forced exhalation in and out through the nose. So if you haven't practiced it in a while. Okay, so you can sit up nice and tall. Nice deep inhalation, full exhalation, half an inhalation, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thirty-one, 32, 33, inhale. Exhale. Half an inhalation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thirty-one, 32, 33, inhale. Exhale. Half an inhalation, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thirty-one, 32, 33, inhale. Exhale. And just pause for a moment and notice if you can feel any of the tingling. Kapalabhati. Excuse me, shining skull. All right, from here, let's make our way up onto tabletop, onto hands and knees. So if you need extra support under your knees or your wrists, you can roll that blanket or roll your mat and put it underneath the knees or underneath the wrists. And I really loved yesterday, so there was in Lydia's class, and she's teaching for the studio right now as well, but she did a lot of wrist warm-ups. So in your tabletop, with your fingers facing forward, place the peace fingers, the center alignment. Start to move, just placing your weight in circles over the wrist. You open up the wrist with different weight throughout the parts of the hands. And the opposite direction, we're also warming up the knees and the ankles. And then gently coming back to center and see if you could turn your hands sideways. Yeah, so out to the side. And same motion. Moving the torso around a circle, placing the weight in different places of your hands and opening up those wrists. Let's go the opposite direction. And all the way back to center. And see if it's available for you to turn your hands backwards. And if it's not, just go as far as feels safe for you. Okay? And the hands might go a little bit closer together and do those same circles for a moment. Go the opposite direction. And then notice if you could take your shoulders like in a figure 8 formation. Very tricky. That's right. Excuse me, and then gently bringing the hands back to center. Invert your toes so we open up those feet. And just push the sit bones back to your heels. And if it's available, come right up to sitting back in through your feet. And bring the backs of your palms together. So we open up the wrists here. Yeah, and then bring the wrists or the hands up, face the palms together, and just rock it out a little bit. So rocking out the hands a little bit. Yep. Perfect. And then come back and plant your hands. Plant your feet in love tap. Get the circulation going. Okay. Take your hands a little further out in front of you for our dancing cat. So start making great big circles with the hips. And you might even come forward into a modified upward dog. You lift up your heart. The great big circles as we continue to open up our multi-joint warm. Go the opposite direction. And I'm noticing how that feels. And then gently coming all the way back to center. Plant your hands back underneath the shoulders. Okay. Move into your hip dip. So taking your hips side to side. Now just going as deep as feels safe, allowing them to drop. And then coming all the way back to center here. Then I'd like you to bring that right foot all the way up to the inside of that right hand. Come up on your fingertips, lift your heart, lift your head, so you have longer arms. And then just work with your hip flossing here. So taking that front knee as far forward as feels safe, and then as far back as feels safe. Yeah, so we're opening up. This one is often called a runner stretch. We get right into that shin area. And you're opening up the hips, but also lots of work for the knee and the ankle, right up through your glutes. Okay, and then come back to center with a 90-degree angle behind your knee. And then what I'd like you to do, and listen to this, is I'd like you to take that right leg all the way over to the left. And see if you can have a nice straight leg. And if you were up on your fingertips, you can come down on flat palms. And then I'd like you to just allow that right hip to sink down to the ground and then lift it back up. Yep, so as little lifts, you're opening up the outer hip, working with opposite sides of the body, so getting a little bit more awareness from your brain. And then come back up, and I'd like you to look over to your right hip for a spinal twist. I did this one yesterday, and it felt so good to me. Yeah, and then come back to center, and then exhale, twist to look at that right hip. Okay. And then inhale, come back to center. Let's bring that right knee all the way back to a tabletop position and just do one hip dip to either side. Nice. And then when you're right back at tabletop, you can bring that left foot all the way through and come up on the inside of the left hand. Come up on your fingertips, lift your heart, lift your head, and start moving with your hip flosses here. So going as far forward as feels fabulous, and then taking the hips as far back. And you might even notice that one leg has a little more flexibility than the other. It's really natural for one side of our body to be a little bit tighter than the other. These are sides of the body in different ways, different organs and different sides of the body. Dominant side. Or even if you have injuries that you can compensate for. Okay, one more hip floss here. And then pause. And then take that left leg underneath and out to the right side. Come down flat on your palms and come into your hip dips here where you allow that left hip to sink down and then lift it back up. Now, so we really get into the outer line of the leg. One more hip dip here. And then you can lift that hip, and then you're going to twist and look back to that left hip. Yeah, and then inhale, come back to center. Then 2 more times as you exhale, look at that hip, and perhaps you get some natural adjustments, universal adjustments. And then come back to center. From here, let's take that left knee all the way back to tabletop and just do 1 hip dip to either side. Perfect. So we come back to tabletop. We'd like you to re-engage your hands. So press down through the fingertips, the base of the fingers, and the outer edges of the hands. So you have like gecko hands pressing into the floor and invert your toes. Okay. Lift up your knees so they're just hovering above the floor. And then push your ribs all the way back to your thighs. You get the sensation of pushing the floor away with your hands. And then lengthen the legs to the best of your ability. And walk it out. Bend one knee deep, bend the other knee deep. Yeah, just aware of how your downward dog, out of the svanasana feels this morning. Pushing the sit bones back behind you. Notice if you could let the head hang. You could gently move your head like you're saying yes. You gently move your head like you're saying no. You're just getting a little bit of movement and traction through the cervical spine and through the neck. And then from here, let's walk your hands all the way back to your feet and hang out in your forward fold, Uttanasana. And same thing, let's bend one knee deep and just hold for a moment to get right into those outer hips on the left side and the right side. Just noticing how this is feeling for you, and perhaps if your hands don't make it on the floor, you can bend your shins. And just one more time to each side, opening up that back body. And remember, I said usually it's a little bit tighter in the morning. It's so great to have a nice morning practice. Come back to center, press your big toe down, pinky toe down, and 3 in the middle lifted. So get that awareness of the arch that runs from the big toe to the pinky toe. And then press all toes down. But energetically press big toe, pinky toe in and the center of your heels. Hands come to your shins. Inhale, flatten the spine, look forward, bring the bottom tips of the shoulder blades closer. Yeah, exhale, release, and then press through your amazing feet. And inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, bring those hands right into your heart. Press your hands in at your heart. Okay, so you can feel the hands pressing. Okay, shoulders back and down, and connect with your breath. You feel your feet. When we get caught up and overwhelmed, we're living in our heads. And yoga becomes this magical thread that leads us from the thinking body into the feeling body. So feel your feet. Feel your breath. Feel your body. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to your shins. Inhale, flatten the spine, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees and walk the hands back out in front of you. Downward facing dog. Push those sit bones back behind you. Lengthen the spine. And then inhale, take the right leg up towards the ceiling and stack the right hip over the left. So nice straight leg at first. Both your legs are straight and you're pushing back with your hands. And then practice bending the top leg and then straightening it, and then bending the bottom left leg and then straightening it. And you kind of like play with it a little bit, and you might even be able to feel how one day how hopping up might be good from here. And then stay with both legs straight. Let's square or level the hips. And then nice and slowly bring that right foot all the way up to the inside of the right hand. Come up on your fingertips, lift your heart, lift your head, and then let's work with our hip flossing here. So you can bend that right knee deep, as deep as feels safe, and then you can straighten it. Back and forth with your breath. One more time. Yeah. Okay. And then you can keep that nice 90-degree angle in your knee. You can press your big toe and your pinky toe down in the center of your heel. And then exhale, take the arms back behind you, palms face down for the shoulder rotation I'm looking for. And then inhale, sweep, take the arms out in front of you. Okay? So kind of like you're a robot. You have a nice deep bend in the front knee, and the hands are outer shoulder distance apart. And then bend at the elbows, but don't allow your elbows to split, to go open. So they stay outer shoulder distance apart. And then interlace your fingers behind your neck. Yeah. And then lift your elbows up towards the ceiling. So you get a back bend here, but it's that lifting of the sternum and the support to the back of your neck. Keep lifting the elbows up towards the ceiling, opening up the left hip flexors. Inhale, come back to center and place those hands in at your heart. So just like we were doing in Tadasana, press those palms together for the shoulder blades slide back and down. And then on the next exhalation, take that left armpit as far over that right thigh as feels fabulous. So we're in a spinal twist. Nice, one elbow up towards the ceiling, one elbow down towards the floor, and place the back knee down at any time. All right, notice if you could take the bottom hand, that left hand down to the floor, and it can go on the inside or the outside of the right foot. And then take the right arm up towards the ceiling, so we're nice and open in spine twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Listen to this. We're gonna spin, come up on our feet, and turn to face the opposite direction in warrior 2. But I'll turn around so that you can see. Okay. So you're in warrior 2. Nice deep bend in the front knee. Shoulders are stacked over your ears. Let's come down into our angle pose. So that front forearm can go to the center of the thigh and press that thigh down and away. So you relieve the hip flexors a little bit. Backhand on your hip and stack your shoulders. And then if it's available for you, extend that back arm out over your ear. Pinky finger kisses down. Reach that top arm up towards the ceiling, and like somebody's helping you straighten the front leg, come all the way up, and lean back into reverse Trikonasana. Yeah, that's right. Inhale, come to center, bend the front knee, and you're in warrior 2. Exhale, extend out over your ear, and you're in angle pose. Inhale, come up, and you're in warrior 2. Exhale, straighten the front leg, and you're in your reverse Trikonasana. And we keep moving with our breath. Okay, warrior 2, angle. Warrior 2, reverse triangle. One more time, moving with your breath, aware of how things feel. Usually that angle pose was really delicious for me. And after that last time, take the arms to center, but keep the front leg straight. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, pivot the hips, and we come into our triangle pose, or Trikonasana. Yeah, and just pause here. Trikonasana mathematically means change from within. And yoga is really helping us connect to that. The whole world right now is asking us to change from within. Exhale, allow that top hand to come down to the ground. Pivot that back foot. So now that we're in Padottanasana, or a wide-legged forward fold. So the sides of your feet are in line with the sides of your mat, which for some of us might be a little bit pigeon-toed. Hands can plant wherever you wish and just bend one knee deep and then bend the other knee deep. Just side to side, nice and slow with your breath. Aware of how the knees feel, how the groin feels, how the back feels. One more time to each side. And then you can come back to center. You can place the right hand in the center out in front of you and inhale the left arm up towards the sky. So you're in a spinal twist. Yep. And then exhale, take that hand down. Inhale the opposite arm up towards the sky, spinal twist. Breathe here. Exhale that hand down. Walk your hands to the front of your mat as you pivot on your feet and you're back in a lunge position. Hands on the fingertips. And then what I'd like you to do is start to straighten that front leg to the best of your ability. So nice runner stretch here. And you might even bring your heart a little closer to your knee. Lengthen the crown of your head away from you. And then exhale, bend that front knee, plant your hands, step back to your version of plank. So remember, you can have your knees on the ground, lower push-up, or all the way to the ground, upward dog or bhujangasana. Exhale back to your downward facing dog. Pushing the hip bones back behind you, lengthening the spine. And then let's inhale that left leg up towards the ceiling. Stack the left hip over the right, and you can practice bending one knee, bending the other knee, but feeling a really lovely side body opening right from your left fingertips, zooming right out your left toes. And then square your hips and super slowly with that left foot all the way up on the inside of the left hand. Come up on your fingertips, and work at hip flosses. So bending that left knee as deep as feels safe for you. Back and forth with your breath. Aware of how the muscles on the hip flexors on the inside of the right hip feel. Now one more time, and then bring that knee back to a 90-degree angle where your knee is about over the center of your ankle. Press big toe, pinky toe, center of your heel down. Exhale, take the arms back behind you, palms face down, and just pause. Just feel. Feel your waverings, feel your breath. Inhale, take the arms up. Yeah, and then take them out in front of you. Nice deep bend in the front knee, bend at the elbows. Interlace the fingers, not allowing the elbows to go wide. And lift your elbows up towards the ceiling. So you get a really beautiful back bend in the thoracic spine. Lifting the sternum up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, come back to center. Bring the hands into your heart. And we're going to take that right elbow as far over that left thigh as you can. Okay, and press in. So you're in a spinal twist, one elbow up towards the ceiling, one elbow to the floor, breathe. And then open it up. One hand to the floor, top onto the ceiling. Breathe here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then listen to this, you're gonna spin, come all the way up through standing. Pivot your feet to face the back of your mat and then warrior 2. And so nice deep bend, feel your feet, feel the outer edge of your back foot pressing to the floor, bend that front knee, and then come into your angle. Yeah, so front forearm presses that thigh down and away to get that hip flexor release. Gaze point might be up towards the sky. And then inhale, come up to warrior 2. Straighten the front leg. Lean back to your reverse trikonasana. And then start getting fluid with your breath. You come through to warrior 2 and down into your angle. Come back to warrior 2 and up into your reverse. Keep flowing with your breath. It's looking great. Opening up those side bodies, working with our spine. One more time before you come back through and into your trikonasana triangle. And let's explore a little bit in trikonasana. Let's take that top arm out over your ear, pinky finger down towards the ground. So this is traditional trikonasana, change from within. We need to connect with ourselves, to slow down and to get out of our heads. I allow that top hand to come to the ground. Yeah, and pivot on your feet. So we're in a wide-legged forward fold again. Padottanasana. Bend one knee deep, bend the other knee deep. Yeah, and then back to center and plant that right hand right out in the center in front of you and inhale the left arm up towards the ceiling. Gaze point might be at the floor for extra balance, or out in front of you or up towards the ceiling for extra challenge. And then take that hand down to the ground and inhale the opposite arm up towards the ceiling. Nice. Take that hand down. Walk your hands to the front of your mat as you pivot on your feet in your lunge. Yeah, right on. So your weight right up on your fingertips. And then straighten that front leg to the best of your ability. And it's fine if you still have a bend in your knee. And if you need an extra challenge, then you can work at bringing your heart down towards the knee. Okay. Aware of how you feel this, where you feel this. And then bend that front knee, plant your hands on purpose. Step back through to your plank and move through your vinyasa. Lower push-up, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and we'll meet there and connect with your breath. Okay, so in our downward facing dog, you're going to inhale the right leg up behind you, hips are level. And then you're going to bend that right knee, and just like we did in tabletop, you're going to take that right leg out to the left. So it's on the floor. And I'll go this way so that you can see what I did. Okay. And then I'm going to do my hip lifts here. So I'll allow the right hip to sink down towards the ground and then lift back up. And if you want to go back to having the left knee back down on the ground, you are more than welcome to. And after this last hip dip, then you're going to take that right foot back and keep it crossed over the left. So now we're in a cross-legged downward facing dog, and you're pushing the sit bones back behind you. Okay, and then you're going to walk your hands all the way up to your feet. And now you're in a cross-legged Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Breathe here. Allow sensations to come. Modify if the sensations are too intense. Connect with your feet. Feel them on the ground. Press into the ground. Inhale. Come all the way up. Okay? And allow the arms to go wide open. Bend your knees so we're in eagle legs. You can let the hips sink a little. And you can choose to keep the right toes on the ground, or you might like to wrap those right toes around your calf. You have the openness for your ankles. Breathe. And then wrap the right arm underneath the left. So we come into eagle arms. And if that's too intense, stay here with the hands on the shoulders, hugging yourself. You're still getting that huge stretch to the rotator cuffs. See if you might be able to perch like an eagle looking for your breakfast. So bring your elbows down. Perhaps they touch that top right knee. And then exhale, unravel your arms so they go out in front of you and your palms are up like you could receive some sort of loveliness. And then feel yourself unraveling your legs as you take that right leg back behind you into a warrior three and lift it up, lift up your heart, breathe, 3, 2, 1. And then super slowly bring that right foot all the way through. And ground. Tadasana. Connect with your breath. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, forward. Hands to your shins. Inhale, flatten the spine, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to the plank. Oh no, sorry. Walk your hands forward. Here at the back of your mat. You're back in downward facing dog. You get to miss the plank. Push the sit bones back and we'll just do the other side. So you can lift the left leg up behind you, level hips, okay, and then bring that left knee through and out to the right. Yeah, and you're going to do your hip dips here the same way you did on the right. And just lower as far as feels safe to you. You can pivot on that back right foot Or you can stay up on the toes. And if you stay up on the toes, it's a little extra challenge of stretch through the left outer hip. After those three, you're in your cross-legged downward facing dog. Pushing the sit bones back behind you, lengthening the spine. Yep, and then from here, you're going to walk your hands all the way back, and you're in your cross-legged forward fold. Let the head hang, aware of the sensations. Inhale, press to your feet, come all the way up. Take your arms wide open, heart wide open, and bend your knees. Now go this way so you can see. Eagle legs. Yeah, let the hips sink. Yeah, nice. And then take the left arm underneath the right. And you can choose to hold on to the shoulders, and you can choose to interleave your hands, or you might even have your right hand take hold, or so the left hand take hold of the right wrist. Come on down, perch, look for your breakfast, and breathe. So much awareness and focus. 3, 2, 1. Unravel your arms, wide open for loveliness. Unravel your legs, come back into your warrior 3. Take that back left leg behind you. 3, 2, 1. And then super slowly bring that leg through and gently twist. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, forward. Hands to your shins. Inhale, flatten the spine, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, walk your hands back out in front of you, and we're back in our downward facing dog. Push the sit bones back behind you, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, bend the knees. Come on down to tabletop and push the sit bones back so we're in our child's pose. Okay. From child's pose, keep the arms extended and the arms active so the elbows are lifted up off the ground. And on the exhalation, walk your hands over to the right. Lateral balasana. Push the left hip down and the left hand down and back, and the right hand down and forward and check. And then inhale, come back to center. And exhale, right on over to the other side. Press that right hip down. Right hand presses down and back. Left hand presses down and forward, opening up through the right side body. Inhale, come back to center. And then make a fist tower. So you place one fist on top of the other. And then you rest your forehead on your fist tower. You just allow the weight of your head to sink down into your hands. Peaceful breath here. So the breath is flowing, and perhaps you can feel the warmth in your body as you warm all the muscles, the tissues, the joints. Feeling warm and ready to go for the day. And then inhale nice and slowly. Come all the way up to seated thunderbolt, and from seated thunderbolt, you can just gently take your hips to the side and extend your legs out in front of you. So seated dandasana or seated stack hold. You can plant the hands beside you and have your feet hip bone distance apart and the big toes up towards the ceiling. Press down through your hands and lift up through your sternum. Okay, so nice length here, and you might be able to find Mula Bandha, the pulling up of the pelvic floor, Uddiyana Bandha. Belly button slightly in and up. Inhale, take the arms up here, no hands. And then exhale, pivot up the hips, coming into a forward fold. And your hands can come to your knees, your shins, your ankles, your feet. Wherever they come to is just fine. Shoulders are in their sockets, and you're leading with your sternum. As you inhale, length. You exhale, release. And you're aware that whatever is going on in the world, you don't have to lose connection with yourself, with who you are, and what you value. The yogic philosophy is called Siddhanta, your core values. And sometimes we get so caught up in things, we lose our integrity with staying connected with our core values. Inhale, come all the way up. Place the hands behind you, lift up your heart. You're lifting up that sternum. You feel it tilting your pelvis and the bottom to the shoulder blades will reach towards each other. Breathe here. It's an opening through the heart and through the throat, and in hopes that they will be connected, that you'll have the wisdom to be able to speak from your heart. And exhale, gently release. You can bend the knees, place the feet on the ground, and just scoot your sit bones closer to your heels. Okay, so we are going to come to lying down on your mat. Okay, so we're almost in Savasana, not quite, but if you want to have your blanket close by so you're ready, or put on that sweater, you are more than welcome to. Otherwise, feet hip bone distance apart, hands on the backs of the thighs, lift up the sternum, lift it up towards the ceiling, and the big toes press down and back so you can ignite the pelvic floor, inner thighs, and abdominals. Arms out beside you, nice and slowly lower yourself all the way down. Once you come to lying on your back, you can adjust your feet so they're in a more comfy position, similar to how we started, and just pause for a moment and be aware of where your spine touches the floor and how the spine feels against the floor. Aware of how things shifted and changed in a really beautiful, compassionate way. Allow the left leg to extend out in front of you. Inhale, bring the right knee into your chest. Give it a little squeeze, just massaging the ascending forward. And then keep the left hand on your kneecap, right arm wide open, palm face up. And we're going to come into a spinal twist. So you can take that right knee over the body towards the floor. And remember, you might take your gaze point in the opposite direction of the knee, just like you did in windshield wipers. Further elongating the spine, but if that's not possible, take your eyes further in the opposite direction, like down towards the floor. Okay, and that'll still work with that real estate in the brain, with the spine and the spinal twist. Inhale, bring that knee all the way back up to center. Interlace your fingers behind the right thigh. Inhale, take that right leg up towards the ceiling. Give a little resistance of thigh into hands and hands into thigh. And then release the resistance. Plant the hands with your fingertips beside you and just lower this leg to a slow count of 5. Once that leg is grounded, and there's no rush, but once it is, just rock the feet side to side, releasing inner outer hips, low back. Yeah, and then let's hug that left knee. Let's give it a little squeeze, massaging and extending colon. And then opposite hand to knee. So the right hand is on the knee, the left arm's wide open, palm face up for shoulder rotation. And take that knee over the body towards the floor, aware of how this feels. We're rinsing our practice through our system. So just bringing it through, perhaps your gaze point or just your eyes go in the opposite direction. Peaceful breath of slowing down, feeling down. And then inhale, come all the way back to center. Interlace your fingers around the back of the left calf. Lengthen that left leg up towards the ceiling. And if you need longer arms, you can always hold on to the outside of that. Let's resist. Thigh into hand, hand into thigh. And then release the resistance, release your hands, plant them beside you, and lower this leg to a slow down to 5. And no rush, but once you are grounded, you can rock those feet side to side, releasing inner outer hips. Okay? And you can choose to either have that blanket on you for Savasana, or you can roll that blanket and use it as a bolster underneath your knees, which is what I like to do. Well, once you're in your most comfortable lying down position, you can close your eyes and allow yourself to connect to that softer, longer, smoother breath as we slow things down. And we practice a short yoga nidra as a bridge to pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses. But we use the senses to get there. So be aware of any noises in your space, whether they're man-made noises noises or mechanical noises, or perhaps you can hear the birds and noises from nature. And be aware of the front side of your body, whether or not you can hear just the things that are at the front side of the body up above you. And then take your awareness to the right side of your body only. And become aware of the sounds you can hear on the right side of your body. Whether they're mechanical sounds, man-made sounds, or sounds from nature. All sounds come from space and spaciousness. Take your awareness to the left side of your body, the left ear. And become aware of noises that are on the left side of you. Whether they are mechanical sounds, cars driving by, whether they are man-made sounds, somebody else is moving around, or sounds from nature. All sounds come from the space of silence. Take your awareness to the crown of your head. And imagine an opening right at the crown of your head. Through this opening, I'd like you, excuse me, to inhale white light and let it move throughout your entire body. And exhale, just release and absorb. Inhale, white light, let it come down to the crown of your head and fill every nook and cranny of your body. And exhale, allow it to be absorbed into every tissue, every cell. Inhale, white light, filling every piece of you, right down to your tippy toes. Exhale, allow it to be absorbed into your system. For the next few moments, breathing and receiving. And then take that awareness back up to the crown of the head and close it. Perhaps you can visualize an X in Sahasrara chakra, right? The crown chakra, the soft spot on baby's head. And then have your awareness in the body and how the body feels here. Perhaps you can be connected to Ananda Maya Kosha or your bliss body. Perhaps you can feel tingling sensations, warming sensations. And even if you feel nothing at all, you're aware of it. You are awareness. Find yourself taking some deeper inhalations and exhalations. Allowing more vitality, more oxygen, and more prana to come into your system. And then start to wiggle your toes and your hips. Perhaps rolling out your wrists, or your ankles, or gently turn your head side to side. And on the next inhalation, take a full body stretch. If you were just waking up, just like we did at the beginning of class, and exhale, sigh it out. Let it go. You can bend your knees and place the feet on the ground, and then tap your feet. Getting the soles of your feet grounded for a day of movement, walking through this world, this particular time. And then gently roll on over onto your right side and just pause for a minute here. So aware of what you would like to take with you, and aware of what you might like to leave behind. And gently, slowly make your way back up to Sukhasana, easy seated pose. You want to place a blanket on, you can. We're going to come into a little bit of pranayama to close our practice. So quite often with you, I practice alternate nostril breathing or anuloma viloma. And this morning we're going to practice just the viloma. So it means against the grain. So we're moving the air against the grain. Okay. So you can sit up nice and tall. So length, you might even lift the sternum up towards the ceiling. And then sit far enough back that your abdominals engage. So we have low back support. And palms can be wide open for receptivity or downward for grounding, whichever you choose. And bring them a little bit closer to your hips. And the chest can be open. Eyes can be open or closed. Take a nice deep inhalation and exhalation. Inhale just a third of the way, and then inhale a third more, and then inhale that final third, and then tuck your chin and just hold for a moment, and then exhale a third, second third, and the final third, all the way down to the abdomen. 3 inhalation and exhalation, noticing how it feels. And then practice it again. Inhaling a third, perhaps lower lungs. Inhale your second third, mid lungs. Top lungs, final third. Tuck the chin, hold for a moment. And then exhale. Top. Second third. And final third, right down to the abdomen. Rebreathing. And then keep playing with it. Inhaling a third. Sip in that second third. Sip in the final third. Tuck the chin, hold it, notice how it feels. And then play with releasing the third, and the second third, and the final third. And then feel free breath, inhalation and exhalation. And when you're ready, play again. For a few moments, I'll leave you here playing. When I was playing with this yesterday, I was really aware of how much more exhalation I had. That when I first practiced it, it was like I had way more than a third, so I had to readjust it. Notice if that's perhaps the case for you too, as you fully empty the lungs. So let's just do one more breath here from wherever you are, sipping in your 3 parts, holding, and then sipping out your 3 parts. And then release. Take the hands a little further along your thighs. And just free breathe. Inhale. Notice how you feel. And then gently bring your hands into Anjali Mudra at Anahata Chakra. You can tuck your chin if you like. Eyes can be open or closed. But I like to leave you with a quote. And I found this piece of paper. It's a beautiful piece of paper. It was given to me when one of my best friends passed away. It was at her funeral service. And I can't believe I found it again. Her name was Carrie Roberts, and she wrote this in 1995. I was 23 when she passed away, but it says, "Why is everyone in such a hurry? I bet if everyone just slowed down, they'd appreciate what's going on around them. And once that happened, think how nice the world would be." And on the inside, it says, "When suddenly the world slowed down one day, the streets filled up with artists, drinking wine together and smiling. Flowers planted carelessly bloomed quickly now with purpose. And into buttered curls rolled back an ordinary sky because, in shades of course, the pinks were wanting to direct the sunburnt sitcom blues. That day I saw you too slow down, and with me, for an instant, glimpse, by a golden thread, us all connected. One day." I so look forward to gathering with you and all the artists in the streets with the flowers one day soon. Namaste. And feel free to unmute yourself to say, "Have a beautiful day," and you can let yourself go from our beautiful class this morning.
Thank you so much, Tash. That was wonderful.
Absolutely love seeing you.
Yes. Tash.
Bye.
And